On the news, terrorists strike again, kill 7 people, abduct 20 in Zamfara State. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu pays 138.1 billion naira accrued annuity to over 34,000 retirees. An AU summit charges African leaders on enhancing multi-sectoral investment over food scarcity in the continent. Hello and welcome to News Now. I'm Simisola Adikun. We begin the news in Zamfara State, where no fewer than 7 people have been killed, while about 20 others have been abducted by terrorists in an evening attack on Nasarawa Godel in Berlin Magaji local government area. The terrorists, believed to be from Gaskwa Dakarami, stormed the community around 6 p.m. in 3 Hilux vans and went straight to the exit of the community. The northern part of Zamfara State, which shares boundaries with Katsina and Sokoto states and Niger Republic, is facing renewed terrorist onslaught. In the last few days, the terrorists killed 13 people, including 2 police officers, and abducted about 40 people in separate attacks in Kaura, Namoda, and Zurmi areas. 2 soldiers and a mobile police officer were also killed when the terrorists attacked a military camp in Daura, also in the area. Amid rising insecurity in the country, the debate over the creation of state police to tackle crime in Nigeria appears to be gaining ground as for the very first time, both federal and state governments have now announced that they are open to the idea when President Bola Tinubu and the 36 state governors met and considered the establishment of state police as a way to solve escalating security challenges and the booming kidnap for ransom menace in the country. Speaking on the potential benefits and drawbacks of implementing state police in Nigeria, security expert and former director of the Department of State Services, Dennis Amakri, says while the idea is encouraging, the officers must be properly trained in core areas such as intelligence gathering, surveillance systems, as well as arrest and control technologies and techniques. He also says governors and government officials should not be allowed to abuse state police.
I think circumstances, have come to push both the state and the federal government to start thinking or, succumbing to that idea that we actually need state police. These state police are not designed for the governor of any state. They are designed by the laws they are going to enforce, not by just being there as police. There are certain laws, even the local government police. If you have a local government police like sheriffs, they cannot investigate or enforce, what do you call it now? Murder situations, And if you have a kidnap situation or a hijack, that is federal law, and federal police will take care of it. So we are going to segment it where you have the federal police, and when we talk about federal police, we are talking about things like this DSS. We are talking about, because they will be thinking of national security. When you talk about drug and drug enforcement, that's a federal law, and that's like NDLA. We already have those things. You understand? And then when you talk about murder is a state law. Somebody killing somebody. And this is designed for the state police. And the state police will investigate, prosecute that kind of law.
To political matters, Lucky Masuen, a former deputy governor and one of the All Progressives Congress APC governorship hopefuls in Edo State, has withdrawn from the race to elect the party's flag bearer. The Edo APC governorship primary election is scheduled to hold on Saturday. On February 10, Masuen and 11 other governorship hopefuls were screened and cleared to contest in the party's primary. Masuen's withdrawal from the race comes less than 24 hours after Osage Ise Iyamo, a 2-time governorship candidate in the state, withdrew from the contest. In Lagos, the state government has disbursed a total of 3.1 billion naira as accrued pension rights to over 1,000 retirees since the introduction of the Contributory Pension Scheme (CPS) in 2007. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu revealed this during the 103rd Bond Retirement Certificates presentation organized by the Lagos State Pension Commission (LASPEC) in Lagos. Our correspondent Sydney Okafo completes the story.
In compliance with the provisions of the Pension Reform Act of 2004, the Lagos State Pension Commission was created as a corporate entity by the Lagos State Contributory Pension Scheme Law of 2007 to oversee, regulate, and guarantee the efficient administration of pension matters in the Lagos State Public Service. The Lagos State government has set itself aside, among other states in the nation, to address pensioners' varieties of challenges that have resulted in inconsistent policy, as well as inadequate leadership, lack of accountability, misappropriation of pension funds, and erroneous data of pensioners. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu reaffirms the state's commitment not only in the administration of pension benefits, but generally in good, credible governance.
Our own administration, which is less than 5 years, we have given almost 60 billion, 56.5 billion to over 16,000 retirees, which includes retirees from SUBEB, from TESCOM, and from the local government. I am pleased to announce that we have made significant progress and that we're almost at the end at ensuring that once you retire, you will have your paycheck the very next month. Administration will continue to run an open government that acknowledges our diversity. I want to affirm that no matter your age, your gender, your tribe, or special needs, as long as you're an employer, or you have worked for the Lagos State Public Service, whether in active or in retirement, your welfare and your well-being remains our top priority.
Indeed, I find it a thing of joy when issues relating to the well-being and the welfare of senior citizens who have given their all in serving the state are highly prioritized, knowing fully well that we will also be joining them one day.
Executive Director, Stanbic IBTC Pension Managers, Charles Emelu, applauded the entire retirees for their devotion during their days of active service.
As you embark on this new chapter of life, I pray that it will be filled with well-deserved relaxation. Your journey, you must know, does not end here. It merely takes a different path, one where you can savor the fruits of your labor and explore new horizons. I stand here today to represent the PFAs and the ASPs to assure you, our fathers and our mothers, retiring, that we are here to hold your hands through this new chapter.
Some of the retirees commended the state government for prioritizing the welfare of its staff and pensioners.
Like the payment being delayed. You know, I retired in the year 2022, and I'm here for the bond today. So there should be improvement. Delay should be reduced. The delay is too long.
For what we had here today, it depends on the one you want to choose, whether program will grow our needs. But for me, I'm going for annuity.
Acknowledging the backlog in the payment of the accrued rights, Sanwo-Olu says the government's attention is focused on systematically eliminating this backlog. Sydney Okafo, TV 360, Lagos.
Meanwhile, Governor Mohammed Yahaya of Gombe State has affirmed his administration's commitment to continue providing basic social amenities to the people as well as businesses to thrive in the state after being ranked as the best among other states in the country. The governor gave the assurance while interacting with State House correspondents shortly after a meeting with Vice President Kashim Shettima at the Presidential Villa Abuja on Friday. He disclosed that the state emerged as the best among its peers on the socio-economic index and attributes its success to commitment, hard work and dedication.
Well, it's no magic, it's no miracle, it's just commitment, hard work and dedication. And over the time, since I became governor, I made sure that I go with a focus, the clear vision, and we consistently monitor the progress vis-a-vis the needs of the people and the mood of the country. So all those things joined together shows your economic development means every aspect of human development. And I'm very happy that at least what the effort we are doing in Gombe is recognized. And we remain focused and will consistently continue to deliver on the needs of our people. Food crisis is not only prevalent in Nigeria, it's elsewhere. It's throughout the world because of the challenges that the world is facing. But our own has its own peculiarities because of the insecurity that has bedeviled a lot of our states, especially in the west and the northeast. But that notwithstanding, we are putting serious effort to ensure that we restore normalcy, we provide security, and the people are back to their farms. So both on the short, medium, and long term, we have our own strategies. Each state has its own. But we've worked with the federal government in order to ensure that very soon we overcome these challenges and Nigeria is back to its feet.
Despite considerable efforts by government and stakeholders, malnutrition continues to impact Africa significantly, as 41% of children under 5 have various forms of malnutrition, 61 million children are stunted, and 12 million children are wasted. To propose solutions to these challenges, African leaders and stakeholders have converged in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, for the 37th Africa Union Summit to confront the menace of food shortage, which has resulted in malnutrition throughout Africa. This next report has more details. Currently, 1/5 of the African population is undernourished, and 55 million of its children under the age of 5 are stunted due to severe malnutrition. Experts believe the hunger Africans are facing today is a direct result of inadequate political choices. Speaking at the pre-launch of the 37th AU Summit tagged Educate an African Fit for the 21st Century, Building Resilient Education Systems for Increased Access to Inclusive, Lifelong, Quality and Relevant Learning in Africa, President of the Africa Development Group, Akinwumi Adishino, restated the call to action for sustainable nutrition financing for countries in Africa.
About 63 million children are stunted. Over 12 million of them are overweight, and 3 million are wasting, meaning that they have low weight for their height. It's been estimated that the continent loses 2 to 3% and up to 16% of its GDP due to malnutrition. To be clear, Your Excellencies, stunted children today will lead to stunted economies tomorrow. And so, if I have government ministers of finance here, this agenda is not about health, it's not an agenda about agriculture, it's not even an agenda about water, it's an agenda about economic development. If you have stunted children today, be sure you're going to have a stunted economy tomorrow.
African leaders at the 37th AU Summit are also expected to highlight their country-specific programs and investments to address malnutrition. Nigeria's coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare says the Roundtable Summit will provide a better understanding of ongoing initiatives aimed at reducing stunting, wasting, and other forms of malnutrition.
In the context of Nigeria with our large population, we have to bend the curve. And this council is, in a way, an effort for federal government to lead and to draw those investments from our government, we mandated all ministries to have a nutrition department. Not only health ministries, but also the state governments also have similar focus, because part of the issue is nutrition doesn't really have a natural home. Is it in agriculture? Is it in education? Is it in health? Is it in water? And so to have a dedicated platform institutionally to anchor this agenda and to have a framework for coordination, I think is one way to address that, to ensure there is financing made available domestically to complement whatever it is our external partners respectfully contribute in terms of trying to address this challenge.
The economic burden of malnutrition is enormous and reduces countries' productivity and potential. However, the outcome of this discussion will inform the strategies and activities that the African Union Commission and partners will champion to accelerate the reduction of malnutrition in 2025 in Africa. Simisola Atiku, TV360 News. We'll take a break here, but still to come, CBN reduces import duty exchange rates by 2.8% after several hikes in 2024. Stay with us for details for this and other stories.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places, the Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On Digi360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians are saying in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, and use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
Digi360, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. Here's a recap of our top stories. No fewer than 7 people have been killed, while about 20 others have been abducted by terrorists in an evening attack on Nasarawa Godel in Berlin Magaji local government area in Zamfara State. The terrorists, believed to be from Gasquaska Dakarami, stormed the community around 6 p.m. in 3 hillocks plant and went straight to the exit of the community. The northern part of Zamfara State, which shares boundaries with Katsina and Sokoto State and Niger Republic, is facing renewed terrorist onslaught. In the last few days, the terrorists killed 13 people, including 2 police officers, and abducted about 40 people in separate attacks in Kaura, Namuda, and Zarami areas. We also told you that the Lagos State government has disbursed a total of 3.1 billion naira as accrued pension rights to over 1,000 retirees since the introduction of the Contributory Pension Scheme (CPS) in 2007. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu revealed this during the 103rd Bond Retirement Certificate presentation organized by the Lagos State Pension Commission last week in Lagos. Acknowledging the backlog in the payment of accrued rights, Sanwo-Olu says the government's attention is focused on systematically eliminating this backlog. Now, in case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV or AVO TV, or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those, they are silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Commodity boards are not new in Nigeria. In the past, the country has set up boards for cash crops like palm produce, cotton, groundnut, and even grains. Most of these boards were created to boost and regulate exports. However, they have often caused market distortions and incentivized corruption until they were eventually dissolved. Now that the federal government has proposed the National Commodity Board that could help in checking the rising cost of food items, experts believe there's a need to increase the nation's food supply. While expressing divergent views on the intention of the federal government to establish a national commodity board, experts urge the federal government to reduce fiscal burden on the economy. They also say the cost of food items must be addressed.
The fiscal burden that a commodity board with its task force members is going to be so much in the country. We need to reduce the fiscal burden that we have. All of the expenses that we're making. We removed subsidy last year, in the middle of last year, and right now reports are saying that over 900 billion naira has been spent in a subtle way of subsidy. So we are still subsidizing our PMS products. It is still a fiscal burden, and now we want to add a commodity board. The scale we need for the commodity board to be effective alone in just recruiting personnel that will man the task force is more than enough to cripple, in fact, it will swallow the entire budget of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. So it's a terrible idea. It's not a 21st century idea. What you need to do is embark on 21st century macroeconomic principles. Ensure that you ramp up supply. And when you ramp up supply and when supply supersedes demand, basically what happens? Price stability happens. Price comes down.
Commodity boards are very important at this critical point in time. But again, what is going to be the limit of their power? How far can they go? You can only have effective commodity boards where you have the government fully into agro production. And what do I mean? Where you have the capacity of the government to challenge the deregulated prices out there in the market. The problem is not so much availability, but affordability. There is food, at least in the part of the country where I live. Food is available. But food is not affordable. That really is the challenge we have at the moment. We've not gone to a point of scarcity where you would say you don't even see it. You go to the market. There are commodities everywhere. There's rice, there's beans, there are vegetables, rotting, but the prices are outrageous.
After several upward reviews in 2024, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has reduced the exchange rate for computing customs duties by 22.8%. Information obtained by newsmen on Friday at the official trade portal of the Nigeria Customs Service showed that the rate was reviewed downwards from 1,515 naira to 1,472 naira per US dollar. The development comes as the House of Representatives members asked the CBN to peg the customs duty rate at 951 naira per US dollar to save the country from collapsing. Similarly, the Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise has urged the Nigerian government to peg the import duty exchange rate at 1,000 naira per US dollar to address the high price of goods. Police in Russia have cracked down on people who gathered to mark the death of opposition leader Alexei Navalny. According to the Russian human rights group OVD Info, at least 100 people have been arrested across 8 cities, including Moscow, St. Petersburg and Krasnodar, during gatherings to mark Navalny's death. Footage and pictures show officers ripping away placards from protesters and dragging others away from the makeshift memorials to Navalny, while journalists at the site in Moscow were also filmed being detained. World leaders have reacted to the news of Navalny's death, with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky firmly pointing the blame on Russian President Vladimir Putin. Well, up next is Entertainment Report on News Now.
Nigerian Afrobeat sensation Tiwa Savage has opened up about a health struggle, one that has to do with her poor eyesight. In a video shared on her Instagram page, the acclaimed singer provided an update of her visual health, acknowledging that for the past 2 to 3 years, she has been experiencing difficulties with her eyesight. She explained that when she attempts to read, her vision becomes blurry, and recently the situation has worsened considerably. Tiwa Savage revealed that she now finds herself having to take screenshots of the messages and then zooming in on them with her camera to read them. She mentioned visiting an optician in London, who informed her that while her long-range vision is somewhat acceptable, her short-range vision is problematic. In an effort to alleviate her discomfort, the singer has obtained a recommended pair of glasses. Popular Nollywood actor Timini Egbuson has revealed his greatest regrets in life. Timini, during an interview on Maddox's African podcast, said one of his biggest regrets is not getting married early enough. He said if he had known better when he was younger, he would have chosen a wife from one of his young lovers back then. When asked why he can't find love now, the actor said love is hard to find as the street is currently brutal. And that's it on entertainment segment on News Now. Queen Ibanigo, TV360 News, Lagos.
And on sports, Minister John Eno has pledged to work with the military and paramilitary institutions to develop world-class athletes who can win international accolades for the country. Eno made this commitment while delivering a speech at the first edition of the Military and Paramilitary Judo Championship in Abuja. While commending the Nigeria Judo Federation for initiating the Military and Paramilitary Judo Championship, the minister also encouraged other sports federations to initiate partnerships with the military and paramilitary institutions and improve the chances of a country for podium appearances. Well, that's all on News Now. Thank you for watching. See you next time.